Hi all, it's Dr. Nick here. Today I want to talk about Spartan race, which is probably the most famous type of obstacle course race that's on the market right now. Now I've done all kinds of races so far, but I've definitely done Spartan races more often than not. So I'm a little bit more familiar with them than I am of a Savage race or a Tough Mudder or anything like that. So this is all Spartan. And again, when people say obstacle course race, usually this is the direction their mind will go. So I want to talk about each of the individual events that Spartan puts on, just very briefly in each of them. Because if for the new obstacle course racer, there's lots of different options out there for types of races that you might or may not want to run. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe this video and share it to someone who may need it, or who may want to watch it. Now the first type of Spartan race that you can run is the sprint. This is the shortest distance, which is about a 5K, and there's 20 obstacles involved. Now, when they say 5K, they like to give a range, because Spartan doesn't like to include obstacles as part of the distance that you need to run. So it's always going to be a little bit different this time, each time you do it, but the sprints are the shortest distances. Going up, we have the super, which is a 10K. So this is going to be about, 6 to 8 miles, and there's going to be about 25 obstacles in here. So some events will have the sprint and the super, on the same day. So you'd run the super in the morning and then the sprint in the afternoon, so you'd be able to get, all the races you need to do, in one weekend. Now in your trifecta. So trifecta means 3. The third race is your beast, which is they view it as a 21K, which is about 13 miles, so a half marathon, and there's about 30 obstacles involved. But again, there's a good range. So on these, trifecta weekends, you'll have the beast on Saturday, and then you'll go super and then sprint, and then the entire weekend you can get all 3 races done in one fell swoop. Now, some events don't have all 3. Some events, may just have a super. Some may just have sprint. Some may just have a beast. So the first step in my, obstacle course guide for you, in my obstacle course checklist, is to do your research. Find out, where there's a location nearby. See what events they have. What's the distance that they have. And you may need to, do a couple races if you do, desire to get this trifecta. So you may have to, kind of figure out, where I want to run to get my sprint, to get my super, to get my beast. Now, like I mentioned, these are not the only 3 events that Spartan has going on. This is the Ultra, which is a 50K, and there's 60 obstacles involved. So you're basically doing 2 laps of a beast. So you imagine, as hard as this is, you double it. And there's your Ultra. This is definitely not for the faint of heart. But if you're willing to do this, God bless you. I'm proud of you, because this is not easy to accomplish. Now, if you're a new racer, I would recommend starting all the way back at the beginning with the sprint. Because again, this is going to be the shortest distance, so it's going to be the easiest to build up that cardiovascular endurance for. But you can start whatever you want. If you're a longer distance runner and you have experience with that, maybe a super would be good for you. If you've run a marathon in the past or a half marathon, and then you want to challenge yourself even more, go to a beast. Your goals. What do I want to run? What do I want to accomplish? What do I feel comfortable with? And that's going to determine what race you do. Now, these are not the only 4 races that Spartan offers. There's also a kids race if you want to get your children involved, which is about, they call it a 1 to 3K with a fair amount of easier obstacles involved. They have what they call stadion events, where they take place in famous stadiums around the country. Those are about 5Ks, and they're a little bit more exercise-based with more equipment than obstacles. They have trail runs, which are 10Ks to 21K, so 6 miles up to a half marathon, on a trail. And then for the really, faint of heart, you've got your 4-hour hurricane heats, a go-d races, your death races, which can last up to 24 hours. Now, again, those are not for the faint of heart. But what race you want to run depends on who you are and your goals. I never thought that I would be one who would do an ultra. I thought I would stick to, the sprint, the super, and the beast. But I made my mind to do an ultra with a friend. He backed out, and then I ended up doing it by myself, and it was a great experience. So you have options. You know, you don't have to do one race forever. It depends on you and your goals, and I'm willing to help you out with that. So again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Download my free obstacle race checklist, and we'll see you on the course.